We got us a corpse and cartridge occasion.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Arslan versus knee situation one more time, but this time it's getting a little bit more serious. You know, the past couple of days these guys have been having what we assumed was like a friendly type of banter, talking about Brian, talking about Anna, talking about Nina, some good old-fashioned top-tier character slander. It's something that we've seen going all the way back to Tekken 7, and yes, things are getting heated right now, but everything is heated in Tekken 8. So a lot of people didn't assume that the beef was cutting that deep, but Arslan just did a new interview at a tournament that he was at, and what he said takes this whole situation to another level. So I'll pick up from where I left off in the previous video. If you guys missed it, you could just click on my channel, scroll down, and you can watch everything that they said leading up to this moment. But after all of that, Arslan says, "Right now, my focus is on EWC and EVO. People can think and feel whatever they want. Brian is still number one, and that's not changing. He's been playing Nina and losing her easiest matchups, so that's working great for him. Let's talk after EWC." Now, Nee, on the other hand, was responding to Arslan's editor who made this meme here. You guys can pause and read the tweets and all the meme stuff. But Nee says, "Video editor and YouTube manager for Arslan Ash 95. I see. I won't call my YouTube editor. He's busy editing videos and doesn't have time to make something like this." Now, we cut right to the core of this conversation. There was a post that was shared by Romanova, but it was now deleted, and it was basically highlighting, now cutting right to the heart of this situation. There was a tweet that was made by Romanova, but was later deleted because what she said is, "I didn't know there was actual beef. If there is so, I'm politely going to delete this, apologize." So this person didn't know how serious everything was, because if you look at Arslan Ash's response, he's taken it really seriously. But the post basically was highlighting how Nee was one of the first people to reshare the steroid ban that Arslan was dealing with. Arslan said, "I didn't want to point this out, but he was actually the first person to reshare that. I really don't get the grudge." Now, for those of you who don't know, you should, because this tweet has 1.3 million views. Arslan blames Nee for this tweet going that viral. Side note, the Tekken players blame me. I don't think I have that kind of power. That's something else. But this person tweeted back on July 1st, "Arslan Ash banned by IESF for doping. What's going on?" Now, a lot of people wrote this off because this is basically talking about steroids, and steroids have no effect on reaction time, and it actually does the opposite. There is some examples of it helping, but generally, most of the time, it hurts. And Arslan even addressed this, saying that one, he was tricked into doing it. You know, he took training advice from some random person, and then he ended up being sold steroids under the disguise that it was supplements, right? So Arslan was basically duped, and this really is a lesson for everyone who's entering the gym culture to be more aware about what you're putting into your body. Even if someone tells you it's a good thing, just do a little bit of research, do a little bit of Googling to avoid a situation like this. So the players really stuck with Arslan through this, and I'm happy that this wasn't something that knocked him off of his path. But when we look at the interview that he just did, I tweeted on Twitter a second ago, "Arslan Ash calls out Nee for holding a grudge after being the first to reshare the IESF steroid ban." The quote that I thought was really interesting throughout all of this, but we'll play all of it. It says, "He was the first person to share that tweet. The rest of the world knows because of him." So Arslan Ash really feels like Nee sharing that came from a dark place, and they even give Nee credit in this video, talking about how he's always humble, he's always nice. So this moment of like reshare this from Nee, they just are confused by it, and Arslan is asking questions as to why Nee would do that. So I'm not sure what tournament this is, but this is a Tekken World Tour Pakistani, I'm assuming dojo or something like that. But this is a after like the tournament interview, and you have Arslan Ash here talking with the commentator.
Retweeting the acquisition and the way he's been. Is there actual beef here?
No, before I didn't think that he had beef, but I still don't understand why he shared that tweet. He was the first ever person to share that tweet, and then the rest of the world got to know because of him.
So if we pause there for just a second, right? Arslan didn't think there was like any real beef and there was super grudges or anything like that. But him seeing Nee be the first to share that tweet, it kind of just made him think differently. And you even see like the from that moment on, the things between them kind of got like more intense. And we're now seeing that Arslan really felt the type of way about that. And I would love to hear what Nice has to say there, because maybe he was like me and he was like shocked by the whole thing, because I didn't know that much about steroids. So I was taking it kind of at face value, trying to do research as I was like documenting the whole thing. So I would wonder from Nice's perspective how much he knew and how much he didn't know, and was it really like nefarious or was it not? I don't think so. You know, Nee seems to be a very humble, nice guy, so I would assume that he wasn't doing it in an attempt to cause chaos, but we don't know until Nee says.
I need an answer, Otherwise, this thing will stay inside me, because if like, so what you can think of this, like he's waiting for my downfall, right?
Yeah.
If you
He said he's waiting for my downfall.
retweet my tweet that you can think damage my reputation and damage my career, then what can I think of you?
Exactly. And also,
A lot of people who weren't as knowledgeable were questioning all of his victories. And this is something that I said in my video, is that, people will start to question and scrutinize, and because Arslan has a lot of haters, and that is something that people are still actively using, like, he's using steroids. Not a lot of people know the truth of that situation. So Arslan asking for these questions later on, I personally don't blame him, because that situation got really big and a lot of people still don't know, his side of it.
so just to add here, Nee is a very humble guy, very, very good guy. All the time he has been. But he knows as well that whole IESF stuff is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
It's straight bullshit. Steroids don't make a difference on your reaction time. It makes it worse, actually.
Yeah, and then it proved, and then everyone took my side. But I was like, why he did that? What was he thinking, So what I think is that he might have a grudge. I don't understand why. Because I just say Brian is top 3, that's why. So I think that's why I have been doing this whole stuff, because I didn't answer, why he did that.
This is something that a lot of people's been talking about as well, is like, why is Arslan basically like poking at Nee? This is something that we were talking about on stream, and we were kind of trying to lay out the scenarios. One, is it Arslan really trying to like knock Nee off of his game because he thinks he's a real threat? Nerf his character. Now Nee is scrambling, trying to figure out something else to do right before the major tournament. Is it that? Or is Arslan really just like having that much of a bone to pick with Brian Fury? But now we see that it's something more. It's so much deeper than just like, I want to win this tournament, I want this. You can see that Arslan really felt the type of way by Nee resharing that tweet.
And because of him, other people starting doing that. He could ask, in person.
Yeah.
About it, or I don't know. That's weird.
I hope that this beef doesn't turn into something like serious. Of course, I don't expect Arslan and Nee to be throwing hands at Evo Day 2, right? But I don't want these guys, their friendly rivalry, to turn into some like real like hate. I don't want, the two greatest Tekken players of all time to end up hating each other. For this to be the turn of the legacy would be so sad. Arslan represents the new generation of Tekken, and he has a bright future ahead of him. Nee has done so much to carry Tekken and to put hype into Tekken, and he represents everything that we love about Tekken. So both of these guys are really awesome, and I do hope there is some kind of like peaceful resolution that comes from this, and we could just continue to get back to like just joking and laughing about Tekken 8. Tekken 8 seems to be very chaotic in all of the ways that no one has ever predicted. And I do hope that as time progresses, things can calm down a little bit and it's not so chaotic.